Peace, brothers and sisters in humanity. I'm like buses, innit? They don't come and they all that come at once. Uh, let's get let's basically talk about this subject now and just put it to bed once and for all. Let's listen to our brother.
There are some people nowadays that say you shouldn't follow Hadith, you should follow the Holy Quran alone. There are many concerns with this kind of approach to Islam, to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Firstly, the Quran itself tells you repeatedly to follow the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then you have the example of the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum, who never had the understanding that you follow the Quran, but you have no interest in what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is doing, saying, or teaching. Also, such people cannot truly act upon the Quran because the Holy Quran often commands something and the details are found in the Sunnah, like Salah. Where are the details of Salah? In Sunnah. Zakah. Where are the details of Zakah? In the Sunnah. And many other rulings like this. So therefore, this is unacceptable.
I like the last bit. I love the last bit. This is unacceptable. This is really funny, you know what I mean? It made me laugh. They think they own the bloody thing, innit? They think they own it. First of all, there's all the details in the Quran. The Quran is it's a complete book, yeah? It's just because you don't know. You change the word, the meaning of the word of salat and the meaning of the word of zakat, okay? Obviously, if you change the meaning, you will not understand the Quran. So who doesn't understand the Quran? Us or you? Alright, this claim you have to follow the Prophet. Okay. Let's get it all from the Quran, yeah? Brothers and sisters, let's just get it from the Quran. Okay? And then we show who understands the Quran and who doesn't. Yeah? Okay. I'm going to use the verses that they overuse. Right? Overuse. I mean, I spoke about what does it mean to obey the messenger, obey Allah, it means, yeah? I've done a whole video about that, so I'm not gonna go to that, yeah? Because it's just gonna take way longer than it's gonna take this time. Alright. We just get the verses that they use, and then we see if the Quran left anything out. 3:31. قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم. They use this verse, isn't it? Say, if you love God, you shall follow me. God will then love you and forgive your sins. God is forgiver, most merciful. So by the messenger said, if you follow me, God will love you. Okay? That means we have to follow the hadith. That's the claim, yeah? And the second verse, 33:21. لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن يرجو الله واليوم الآخر وذكر الله كثيرا. The messenger of God is set up a good example for those among you who seek God and the last day and constantly think about God. Please remember this last bit. Who seek God, remember this, yeah? Who seek God and the last day and constantly think about God. Okay. We're going to go and find out. First of all, we're going to go and find out what is the uswa. Okay? We get the verses that talks about uswa, yeah? And then we find out What's the whole meaning of that word? Okay. So that was the first word. The first verse is about the Prophet Muhammad. He was an uswa, or an example to us. Okay? So the messenger is dead. So we say, how can we follow a dead man? And they say, you follow what he was doing, saying in the hadiths. Let's see if that goes against the Quran or not. Let the Quran judge, not us. We don't judge. We just read verses. We don't need to explain anything. We're not creating anything here. We just put in dots together. That's all. We're not better than anyone. We're not smarter than anyone. No, this is God's words. I'm just reading them to you. That is all. Let's go to 64. قد كانت لكم أسوة حسنة في إبراهيم والذين معه إذ قالوا لقومهم إنا براء منكم ومما تعبدون من دون الله كفرنا بكم تعبدون من دون الله. We stop here. You can read to the end of the verse, yeah? But we just stop here. Okay? We just stop here. A good example has been set up for you. It's the same as the Prophet. That's the same, almost the same verse, yeah? By Abraham and those with him. They said to their people, we disown you and the idols that you worship besides God. Okay. So here, the example is Abraham and the people that are with him. Okay? Where is the uswa? Where is the example here? The example is this. They said to their people, we disown you and the idols that you worship besides God. This is the example. See? God just explained it, why they are an example to us. Okay? Let's not stop there though. They go to 66. I mean, you can read the verse 65, but it's going to take too long. 66. And then God goes back to the same group, which is Abraham and those who were with him, yeah? And said, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِيهِمْ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرِ وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ الْغَنِيٌّ حَمِيدٌ. Look what he said, yeah? A good example has been set up for you by them for those who seek God and the last day. As for those who turn away, God is no need. What do you mean need? Anyway, no need of them, most praiseworthy. It's translated wrong, it's not need. So, it's the same thing with the verse about the Prophet Muhammad, the Messenger Muhammad. Those among you who seek God and the last day and constantly think about God. Roughly the same thing. But that's not the point. The point is, those people, Abraham and the people that were with him, if you go back, because I don't want to use too many verses because I already used a lot. If you go back, right, to the story of Abraham, was anyone with him? Was anyone with him when he told his people that what they're doing is wrong? The story doesn't talk about other people, it talks about him. Yeah? By himself. And then God gave him a son, yeah? But when he first started, he was by himself. There was no one with him. So when God said with him, it means the people that use him as an example and do the same thing that he did. The Quran will prove it. The Quran will prove it. Let's go to 4:1-5. ومن أحسن دينا ممن أسلم وجهه لله وهو محسن واتبع ملة إبراهيم حنيفا واتخذ الله إبراهيم خليلا. Listen to this. Who is better guided in his deen than the one who submits totally to God, leads a righteous life according to the way of Abraham, monotheism. God has chosen Abraham as a beloved friend. Well, that doesn't mean that, but whatever, translation is just... No. God told the Prophet, قُلْ إِنَّنِي هَدَانِي رَبِّي إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ دِينًا قَيِّمًا مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. Say, my Lord has guided me in a straight path, the perfect deen, the way of Abraham, monotheism. He never was an idol worshipper. So the Prophet was following the path of Abraham. He was told, he was told to follow the path of Abraham. And Abraham was not an idol worshipper. Everything about the story of Abraham tells you he was not an idol worshipper. Right? That's the example. But that's not enough, yeah? A prophet was told to follow the path of Abraham. So the prophet used Abraham as an example. So the prophet Abraham was an uswa to the Prophet Muhammad. Okay? And he was told by God. So if Muhammad is our uswa, example, and his example is the hadith, so how do I follow the uswa of Abraham? How did the Prophet Muhammad followed the path of Abraham? In what hadiths? If I have to use the hadiths to follow the example of the Prophet, where do I get the hadiths of Abraham? And where did the Prophet Muhammad get the hadiths and the hero say of Abraham? Where did he get it from? There's contradictions here, right? You can't say something, right, from the top of your head and trying to stick it to the Quran and say, oh, uswa is the saying and the doing of a prophet because God said he's an example. Yeah? So you're trying to force the hadith on people. While God is asking me to follow the prophet, the Prophet Abraham. He's asking me in the Quran and all of us to follow the example of Abraham. And and God didn't give us his hadith. His hadiths. He does not have sunnah. He does not have a sunnah. I don't have a sunnah of Abraham or hadiths of Abraham. The Prophet Muhammad, he was told to follow Abraham, but he wasn't given the sunnah, apparently. He didn't give us why. What's that example all about? The example was about a Prophet Abraham was not, he disowned his people for worshipping, having idols with God. That's the first one, He disowned his people. That's what God said. That's why they were an example. And he told us why they were an example. These people are an example to us. It's because they disowned their people when they found that they were having idol with God. And they were never idol worshippers. And anything associated with the Prophet Abraham is to do with he was not an idol worshipper. This is the uswa. This is the example. Not what he was eating, how he eats, how he talks to his wives. That's nothing to do with what the God is saying here. Okay, let's go to another one. And this is all interlinked. The Quran is just one unit, one whole unit. Can't separate it. So wherever I'm coming up, the verses I'm coming up with now, they will explain the other verses we're talking about. It's just amazing. And you're trying to put things into the Quran. Are you mad? Anyway, sorry about the I'm being passionate here. All right. 4, 1, 2, 5. No, I said that already. All right. 53, 1. والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى وما ينطق عن الهوى إن هو إلا وحي يوحى. Right? This is it. You use that a lot as well, yeah? Without forgetting, this is all interlinked. All interlinked. You can't mess with it. As the stars fell away, your friend was not astray, nor was he deceived, nor was he speaking out of a personal desire. It was a divine inspiration. So now, they're using this verse, look, the Prophet doesn't talk from his own desire, right? But they forget the last bit where he said, it was a divine inspiration, right? God is talking to the people that they were with the Prophet, arguing with the Prophet. He's telling them, right? The Prophet Muhammad was not astray. He didn't go a different way. He didn't take a different qibla than, you know what I mean? Right? Nor was he deceived. Nor was he speaking out of a personal desire. That is Muhammad, the person. But here, after this, he's a messenger, right? That's why he said it was a divine inspiration. So you're telling us there's two inspirations that you have no basis from the Quran except gibberish. Yeah? Created by one person who lived 600 years after the Prophet, Shafi'i, and this person said there is two revelations, hikmah and all this, and you use this verse to prove it, and it's all gibberish. The Prophet did not change the Quran. He could not change the Quran. He was not allowed to change the Quran. But Shafi'i, after 600 years or so, he actually changed the Quran. He started wiping out verses here and there. Do you know what I mean? Coming up with all this science by himself. He wasn't even a prophet or a messenger. But you follow that, yeah? But you don't follow this, do you? Right? 619. قل أي شيء أكبر شهادة قل الله شهيد بيني وبينكم. Yeah? وأوحي إلي هذا القرآن. So now we're going to prove where is this, what is a divine inspiration? What is it? What is this divine inspiration? This verse will prove it. 619 قل أي شيء أكبر شهادة قل الله شهيد بيني وبينكم وأوحي إلي هذا القرآن لأنذركم به ومن بلغ أئنكم لتشهدون أن مع الله آلهة أخرى قل لا أشهد قل إنما هو إله واحد وإنني بريء مما تشركون. So how we related this? How this related this? It's scary sometimes, you know. Say, those testimony is the greatest. Whose testimony is the greatest? Say God's. He is the witness between me and you. That this Quran has been inspired to me. So the inspiration is the Quran. Right? Not the Quran and the hikmah and the hadith was inspired to me. The Quran has been inspired to me. To preach it to you and whom it reaches. That means even when I'm not here, right, the Quran by itself will reach people. So the Quran is the messenger. To preach it to you and whomever it reaches. It reaches. Not I reach. It reaches. Indeed, you bear witness that there are other gods besides God. Say, I do not testify, as you do. There is only one God, and I disown your idolatry. Let's go back. 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 Let's go back to 64. A good example has been set for you by Abraham and those with him. They said to their people, we disown you and the idols that you worship besides God. So the Prophet Muhammad done the same thing. So he used Abraham as his example. And we do the same thing towards the Prophet. He wasn't an idol worshipper. So that's the uswa. That is the example. Nothing else. Give me 1 second, please. Yeah, let's go to 46:9. قل ما كنت بدعا من الرسل وما أدري ما يفعل بي ولا بكم إن أتبع إلا ما يوحى إلي وما أنا إلا نذير مبين. Listen to this. Say, I'm not different from other messengers. I have no idea what will happen to me or to you. That's what I'm saying. The Prophet, God telling the Prophet here does not know what's going to happen to him or to you. Yeah? Does not know the unseen. Does not know the unseen, but you stick a lot of unseen to him. In the hadiths you want me to follow. I'm no more than a profound warner. I only follow what it is revealed to me. So, the Prophet only followed the Quran, the revelations. This is my example. So if I have to follow the Prophet, the messenger, I follow what he was following, which is the revelation, the Quran. Not hadiths. This verse does not talk about hadiths. And then this is even funnier, to be honest. It's just ridiculous. 10:15. وإذا تتلى عليهم آياتنا بينات قال الذين يرجون لقائنا ائت بقرآن غير هذا أو بدله قل ما يكون لي أن أبدله من تلقاء نفسي إن اتبع إلا ما يوحى إلي القرآن إني أخاف إن عصيت ربي عذاب يوم عظيم. Listen to this. When our revelations are recited to them, those who do not expect to meet us say, bring a Quran other than this one, or change it. Say, I cannot possibly change it on my own. The Shafi'i did it. The Shafi'i changed it. They abrogated a lot of verses. The Shafi'i done what the Prophet, what the Messenger was not allowed to do. In this verse, it's clear. I simply follow what is revealed to me. And we said again, only one revelations, the Quran. So he only followed what was revealed to him. I fear if I disobey my Lord, the retribution of an awesome day. See? He was only following the revelations, the Quran. And these people ask him to change it. Change it or bring another one. Like they don't know him. See? لا ينطق على الهوى. God was talking to them. Yeah? Yeah? So you can stick this verse exactly next to 53:1. When God is saying, right, as the stars fell away, your friend was not astray. He's talking to them, your friend, to these people, right? He was not astray, and he was not deceived, nor was he speaking out of personal desire. It was a divine revelation. God is actually talking to these people, yeah, while the Prophet is telling them, reciting the Quran, and then they're asking him to change it or bring another one. And he said, I can't change it. It's not mine to change it. And then the craziest thing is in 10:16. Had God willed, I would not have recited it. See, it's nothing to do with me. Recited it to you. Recited it to you. Not to them. Yeah? Not recite them to you. The Quran, singular, the book. Nor would you have known anything about it. Nothing to do with me. It's absolutely nothing to do with me. If it wasn't for God, I'm not going to come up with this. But check this one now. Check what he said now. What he said. I have lived among you my whole life before this. This is the Quran. Do you not understand? A question mark there. I have lived with you all my life. I don't speak like this. See, I don't speak like this. This is not my way. This is not my thing. I didn't make this up. So you know me. I lived with you. Obviously this is not from me. I didn't make this up. Literally, he was surprised. Do you know what I mean? He was surprised. That's why he asked the question. Do you not understand? Okay? And these people are telling us to follow the messenger, or to follow the messenger, or make the prophet, yeah? Because they say the prophet, not the messenger. It'll be a different story if they say the messenger. The messenger can only say the Quran. So the prophet, yeah, he can say things. He eats, he drinks, he talks to his wives, and he does things like every human being does, right? So I have to follow the saying and the doing of the prophet, because we don't know how to follow him in the Quran, and the Quran is clear. And what I got from all these verses is to follow Abraham's way, yeah, and make him as an example. Not to be an idol worshipper, as Abraham was an idol worshipper. To follow the Quran, which is revelations, right, like the Prophet Muhammad did, and like Abraham had to listen to God, to follow God's revelations, isn't it? Yeah? And to disown the people if they follow idol worship ideology. That's all there is to follow here. There isn't how to, you saying to do salat because you don't know what salat is. You want to push it in the Quran forcefully, you know what I mean? There is zakat, doesn't mean to give money, yeah? Just because you say zakat, give like once a year you give like 3% or whatever, and you actually came up with details that they're not in the Quran. Zakat is not sadaqat. You can't, you know what I mean? You forgot about sadaqat, or there's sadaqat, yeah? And there is al-fay, and there is, what do you call it? You call it war bounty. I mean, it's not, I forgot it in Arabic. Oh, God. Ghanima. Ghanima is actually the tax. Ghanima is the tax. And it's said in the Quran it's 20%. It's all from the Quran. You can't get out of it. Yeah? Not you give like tenner once a year or something. Doesn't work, man. So, I mean, people starve. How are you going to run a country with £10 a year? You can't do that. You have to pay taxes. You can't not escape the taxes. If you make a lot of money, you give some of it away because it's not your money anyway. As a believer or a Muslim, you should think, listen, to practice Islam, to practice the laws of Islam, I have to give tax away because it's not my money. Right? It's not all my money. Like people think nowadays, I made that billions, I made that. People, and they keep following money, keep chasing money, putting in the bank. Oh, and other people are starving. They don't care. You know what I mean? That's why Islam is the best thing ever. That's why Islam is the truth. That's why every law in it is to do with everyone on this planet. Every law is to do with everyone, and not just everything, not just everyone. It's everything. It's well-balanced world. It was balanced by God, and He gave it a sunnah, gave it a system, and He told us how to go about the system to have the best life, right? To really be happy and in peace and at peace, yeah. And then we decided we're not going to listen to that book, because that book is a fairy tale book, or whatever you want to think, yeah? Those laws are redundant. And then we mess ourselves up. That's all. That's what you see. That's what you see today. I mean, come on. If you read the Quran and you think it's just talking crap, just look around you. Just look at the world nowadays. Look at the wars. Look at everything. Poverty. Look. And the Quran is against all that. Greed, you know what I mean? Theft, injustice. How can you go against the Quran? I do not know. I really don't. It's amazing how people just get lost that much. Don't even trust the book that they believe do you know what I mean? They actually believe in. And they don't listen to it. They don't follow it. And the accused, it's not acceptable, he said. I mean, who are you? Who the hell are you? Alright guys. Peace out.